high desert in the great American Southwest. I'm Art Bell.
Slamming into your radio like a supercharged nanoparticle of unobtainium. My name is George Knapp.
I'm Richard Serrett.
This is Connie Willis.
I'm George Norrie. Welcome to Coast AM. It's great to be here.
Welcome to Coast to Coast PM, the number one unofficial Coast to Coast AM podcast. We are a show where two brothers analyze the world's largest paranormal radio show known as Coast to Coast AM. My name is Paul, and today we have a special patrons-only episode with my brother.
Hey, it's Chris, and boy, am I ready to get weird with our patron coasternauts today.
And today, Chris, this is going to be a little different because usually for the show, naturally, we talk about Coast to Coast AM. We've talked about some different articles that Coast posted, but never before have we done an episode about a personal experience of one of ours.
Yes. This is a first. Breaking barriers here on Coast.
Breaking barriers and technically breaking news. This is a hot scoop that only Coast to Coast PM has.
That's right.
It's the ghost that Chris himself had experienced.
I experienced paranormal activity for really the first time in my life this last week, Paul, and I'm so excited to share with our coasternauts exactly what happened.
And it's pretty interesting. And you called me immediately the next day and you were like, Paul, you will not believe what just happened to me last night.
I called you that morning.
Oh, was it that morning?
I thought it was.
It was that morning, right? Yeah. I was thinking next day because it was the night before, but it was like 3 a.m. or something, right?
Right, yeah.
So technically it was the same day.
Yeah, so I call you up and I'm like, dude, you're not going to believe what happened to me. I can't believe it. I was telling everybody about what happened. I was freaking out. We then find out later that afternoon that the hotel is haunted.
So you didn't even know, when you had your experience, you didn't even know the place was haunted.
Zero idea. Zero. It was a Drury Inn Plaza. I'm not thinking haunted at the Drury Inn. It's like going to a Hampton Inn or a Hilton Garden or something like that. And you're like, oh yeah, this place is super haunted.
So to back up a little bit, you were in Sante Fe, right? New Mexico?
Sante Fe, New Mexico. That's
okay. Right. You were there for work. You were just staying at this place, not really thinking about the fact that it's haunted or digging into local lore.
Right.
All right. So how do you want to start, Chris? Because we found a couple articles about this haunted location. Do you want to kick it off with that?
Let's kick it off with somebody else's experience with the place.
Okay.
All right.
Let's start with an article that we found from KOAT7 Action News.
The best and the brightest in the news gathering system.
Covering all of the hottest New Mexico news. This article is titled Haunting at the Drury Plaza Hotel in Sante Fe? One family says they experienced it.
And I'm going to tell you, I believe them now. I believe them.
And here's the thing, man. Tim would have had a better title for this. This is not a great title.
No, that's a classic young kid straight out of J school having to write these articles every single day.
Inexperience when it comes to the paranormal beat, dude.
Yes. This
is no Timpanol, that's all I'll say. I'm here to throw shade at local news, apparently. So, from the article, Chris, a New Mexico family says that they had their first supernatural experience while staying at the Drury Hotel in Sante Fe in January.
My first two. This is a haunted place, right?
Yeah, pop that cherry, buddy.
Yeah, this is a truly, truly haunted place.
The Drury Plaza Hotel in Sante Fe is one of a handful of buildings that many believe to be haunted. Before it was a hotel, the Drury was home to the old St. Vincent Hospital.
Yes, that's right. So, we all know hospital grounds, especially old hospital grounds, are the sites of numerous hauntings.
So, question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are new hospitals any less haunted? Is it just the old hospitals? I guess it was more traumatic. They didn't have as many painkillers.
I have a feeling that especially the older the hospital, the more likely you are to at least get residual hauntings. But as we've seen with our Tim's most terrifying tales, hospitals can still be haunted today.
Yeah. I'm just kind of convinced that it would have to do with the extreme emotion of a situation kind of burning itself onto the space. And I think
Yeah.
likely with the advent of morphine, those feelings are a little dulled in the human
Deadened.
psyche for
Yeah.
most like back
Yeah.
in the day, dude, when they were cutting your leg off and you were just biting a bullet, that's a
Yeah.
different situation than an amputation today. You're
Yes.
knocked out, man.
Yeah. Right. No, I agree.
Yeah.
The trauma has probably gone down some.
Yeah. I'm thinking through this live, but I think that's probably a reason why an older hospital would be more haunted.
Well, and again, not that deaths don't happen at
Yeah.
hospitals anymore, but back then, I imagine there was way more likelihood of you dying when you go into the hospital.
That's true. Before we understood germ theory, you were probably
Yeah,
dying at a
you
much
were
higher rate.
dying. Yeah, right. You were almost certainly being killed of anything serious. You were going in there.
As legend has it, the ghost of a young boy used to haunt room 311 of the hospital until officials later closed that room off.
This is a very important part of the story, friends. Remember that we're on the 3rd floor.
Those who claim to have witnessed the hauntings report mysterious slamming doors, flickering lights, and sounds of children crying and other unexplained phenomena.
I didn't hear any children crying, so I'll say that much.
I would not have stayed there if I heard children crying. Actually, I would have just thought it was a child crying, probably.
Right. Yeah. Almost certainly. In a hotel like that, you would think it was just a baby in another room, I would think.
Yeah, actually, I'm not buying that one at all. Those people are probably just hearing children.
Right.
Anyways, Megan and Tommy Goodman have made a family tradition of visiting hotels rumored to be haunted. Who does that?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, we've heard a couple of people, I feel like, that were doing kind of haunted hotel stays.
That's wild. That's wild. But after their most recent visit to the Drury, the family says they might be done with ghost hunting.
Yeah, that is this one. I'm not excited about our Ouija board experience after this. I feel like I'm somewhat marked right now.
Megan Goodman tells KOAT the family was in their room on the first floor with the lights off, trying to go to sleep when they started to hear knocking.
Oh, that's not good.
At first, they thought the knocking was just water pipes, but then she says the noise started getting louder. It seemed like whatever was making the noise would get louder and interact as they asked it to stop.
I didn't ask it to do anything.
Yeah.
I was not. Oh, I did not feel like interacting with the noise was a very good idea. I did. Well, here I'll save my story. For
Yeah,
later.
we'll save it.
Let's
We'll
keep
save
going.
it.
Yeah.
Because we got a couple articles we want to check out first.
Yeah.
Because and the other thing too is you weren't aware of any of this when you called me.
Yeah.
So that's the interesting part is that you were not influenced by this in any way.
None whatsoever.
Because I started Googling it after you called me.
Right.
And that's when we started finding this stuff out.
Yes.
The Goodmans said they involved the hotel management, bringing the night manager into their room so he could hear what they heard.
Did the night manager hear the stuff too?
Quote, we turned off the lights and it started up again, Goodman said.
Mine was, I'll say this, it was constant.
Yeah.
And it didn't stop. It did not stop.
Goodman said the manager did everything he could to try and figure out what was going on to no avail. Hotel management followed up with the Goodmans in an email and said that they were working with the maintenance team to track down where the noise was coming from. The email says when they've gone back to the rooms to try and replicate the sound, it's silent.
Yeah, what are they going to do? Call the Ghostbusters? The maintenance ain't going to be able to fix this problem, bro.
Goodman says the family had been using the app Ghost Hunters when they were exploring the hotel earlier in the day. She said the app reported cold baby and crying baby when they were walking around, but she thought nothing of it. What is this app?
I don't have this app. I didn't have this app. I wish now I would, maybe not. I don't think I would have pulled it up. If it would have told me what I was hearing, I would have ran.
You've been listening to a special patrons only preview of our patrons only episode where Chris records his first paranormal experience. If you want to hear the audio clip of what Chris heard and give us your opinion for yourself, go to patreon.com/coast-to-coast-pm and sign up for as little as $2 per month. That's right, just $2 per month. That's like half of a cup of coffee nowadays. I mean, how much is a cup of coffee? Like $20? How much does that stuff cost? It's much less expensive than that, and you'll get bonus episodes. We are up to like 15, 16 bonus episodes. You can listen to the whole archive. It's the best deal in podcasting. So support the show. Help us out. Don't be one of those freeloaders on the, public feed that listens, never throws us a couple bones. There's $2 and listen to this special episode. This has been Paul, your favorite paranormal radio commentator, podcast host, whatever my title is. And thank you for listening. We love you all, and we'll see you again soon.